We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone. Yes. We are back for another round of the crypto morning coffee. So I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about some very serious stuff. Bitcoin could go lower, way lower than we are seeing it right now. And there are also some other very interesting developments in the market that, quite frankly, are both exciting and concerning regarding technology, AI, and so on. And then we have another one that is exciting and concerning, and that is Ecomi, of course. So we are also going to talk about Ecomi and Veve once again today, because the last days were definitely not enough for that. But all of that just in a second. So, good morning to all of you. Mark D is here. It's Binance. Yup. Actually, it's Binance. Trucking Hank, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Greetings to Canada. Duck and Cover, morning. Greetings to Netherlands, I guess. Sorry, Mark D. I have no idea where you're sitting. Anyways, let me know where you're tuning in from if you're here. And yeah, guys, smash up the like button right now for the stream, please. As always, just this little effort in the morning. I know it's hard. I know you are tired, most of you, not all of you. Smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel, tick the little bell to always get notified whenever I start a live stream or go or bring a video. Coffee. Anyways, thanks to my rare hodlers also here behind me for always supporting me. This is your time, because you are sponsoring this channel. So instead of advertisement, this is just you, all the people here with their favorite pictures and collectibles and whatnot, or the ones that I chose for them. Hey G-Money, what is going on? GM bringing the coffee. Nico's tuning in from Barcelona. Buenos dias, amigo. Gonna be taking my daughter to Barcelona next month, says Duck and Cover. Oh, great. So Barcelona seems to be a great city. The problem is when you're traveling to Barcelona business-wise, like I did, you don't see much. But all the tapas stuff was really good. And I was in something that looked like an old marketplace and was full of restaurants. But I think it was an old market hall or something like that. That was really great. So I can, even though I didn't see much, I can recommend Barcelona already. And I'm definitely going on a private trip there once I how do you say this, reloaded my holiday days and so on, and recharged my money supply, and once I stopped aping into crypto and Veve. Now, okay, enough with the talk. of this, let's look at what is going on in the market. Of course, you guys are allowed to continue to talk about traveling, which is way cooler than looking every 4 hours at Bitcoin. Let's take the Bitcoin chart here quickly and refresh and see what's going on shorter time frames. Oops, there we go. The daily. Okay, now we see something. So Bitcoin is correcting, and not for the first time. And it's funny because people forget so fast what happened. So a couple of weeks ago, actually here from March until what is that? Okay, until May. March until May, we had 2 months of downside, up and down, up and down, up and down. To be exact, 50 days. And that was a 24% drawdown. But now it seems that the fear is greater, where we are correcting since the end of May until now in an 11% maximum drawdown. We are not even down 11% right now. And fear is just exponentially higher. Why is that? Well, the reason for that is that actually what's bleeding way harder than Bitcoin is the altcoins. So I think that people are overreacting to their specific portfolios being down way more, also because many people do not hold significant percentages of their portfolio. Doesn't mean you have to have significant money, but significant percentages of their portfolio in Bitcoin. So for me, for example, my portfolio comprises 50% of Bitcoin. So that means that it is not that hard of an impact. Christoph DN just subscribed. Welcome to the fam, welcome to the channel. That is great. I appreciate it. PH meetup in Barcelona. One day, that could be a thing. Yeah, okay, so, but if we're looking at, so this is the reason, right? This is the others chart, this is the altcoins, and basically the altcoins have not, like Bitcoin, recovered and then have a drawdown. The altcoins are in a consistent drawdown since March, and the altcoin drawdown is on average 42% in the entire market outside of the top 10. Right, so 42% on average means that there are some coins that have done way worse than 42%. Some have done a little bit better, especially meme coins, because it's still shitcoin roulette, right? But the reason for the negativity is this, not necessarily the Bitcoin price. So at the moment, the rule counts, as in all bull markets: if Bitcoin bleeds, altcoins bleed harder. And right now, what seems to be happening is that this altcoin bleeding is going into Bitcoin. We can see that when we are analyzing Bitcoin dominance. Look at that. I said it many times, maybe predicted it here, that Bitcoin dominance is going to bounce and is going to head higher. And right now we're sitting at 56.16% here on the weekly chart that we are seeing. So it seems to lose a little bit steam. Maybe we can refresh here also, okay, now we are seeing the monthly, but that doesn't matter because we can actually see how strong it is on the monthly. But it seems to be losing a little bit of steam like this. But it doesn't seem really that there's no sign that it topped out the Bitcoin dominance, right? So to sum that up, Bitcoin is going down a little bit, but not as much as the altcoins. So we saw that the altcoins bled 42% already, whereas Bitcoin from that same time is only down, yeah, absolutely, 10.9, 11%. If we're going to only where we are right now, which means that it's Bitcoin season, right? That's just another proof for it being Bitcoin season. But now, why is Bitcoin going down, and why is this bleeding happening? So let's look at it. And okay, first I have to show this because I thought that was pretty funny. What is happening to to the altcoins, right? Yeah, is that is exactly what is happening. So Bitcoin has a problem, everyone else falls with it, right? Nothing to worry about, because that also accounts for the other direction. But to be serious now, what we see is that miners are at the moment struggling, and we will also see the reason for that. Miners are struggling with capitulation for more than a month now, having hurt profits, but hash rate fell 12% from its May peak. Not as bad as the 25% expected. So actually the projection for this, and let me get the picture here a little bit more into the center. So we see that hash rate here and the little blip, right? And you actually see the price falling. It's not good for miners. Miners need a higher price so they can fund their operations with the Bitcoin that they are mining. So it means that miners that have a very tight profit model, or no profit at all, once the price falls, they are in a negative. They have to shut down the mining rigs to save energy costs, and then the hash rate goes down, or they have to go bankrupt and out of business in general. So really interesting, in my opinion. I didn't know how high the price for Bitcoin was until recently, when I saw this. Bitcoin's average mining cost is currently at 86,668. So that means that if miners produce a Bitcoin right now, on average, they spend 86K on it. But in the market, they only get 65K for it. So you are operating at the negative 20,000, right? So that means if you're a miner, you want to do two things. If you have a lot of cash and you can fund your operation for a longer time, then you're just piling up Bitcoin again and you're not selling, which leads to scarcity in the market. Or you have to sell, but you're doing a negative, basically, so you contribute to sell pressure, but almost no one will do that. Or you have to basically shut down your operation and you don't produce a Bitcoin at these prices, at these energy prices, and you wait until you are until the market is above production price, and then you turn on miners again, and then you produce in profit and sell directly to fund this and get profit, right? So it also seems to be very difficult to enter this market, but because imagine what is necessary today to produce, like, guaranteed a couple of Bitcoin or one Bitcoin. So you have to buy mining rigs, you have to be in a place where you can get extensive energy supply, and then the market has to play along with you, that when you turn on operation and you get your first electricity bills, then that you don't get liquidated right away out of business. So the only way where really, and we are seeing that right now, is if you have access to cheap or free energy supply, then it's easier to get into the market. We saw that with solar farms. So some solar farms, when they produce excess energy, they just turn on Bitcoin miners with that excess energy and produce that Bitcoin, right? And complete. I know, mind blown for those who think that Bitcoin is super bad for the environment. Wow, you can use excess energy to actually do something? Cool. Anyways, that's what's happening. Let's see the chat here. K Cry says, Omi, sorry, I feel sorry for Ecomi. Yeah, me too. The price is down hard. But on the other hand, there are people that want to buy Omi, so they get cheap prices. So I'm happy for those people. Ivers says, good morning. Good morning, Ivers. Coffee and Omi has no homie. Coffee definitely has homies, and Omi also definitely has homies. So there, we will see that in a second. So there are a lot of people that are still in Omi and about Omi. We will talk about Omi as always, and I think there is something to talk about today. Is it you that does Omi? No, I don't do Omi. What do you mean? Like if I produce Omi tokens or whatever? Is that your question? Energy says, I have my coffee here just now. That is good. So today we need a lot of coffee. Okay, so for everyone who likes TA, and this is some truly advanced TA, this is this is funny. This is called the bet harmonic pattern. This is what could be happening, and we're still in a bull run. And this is why I pulled this up. So this projection, if we would form such a pattern, we would go down to the 1618 fib, and that would be somewhere between 49 and 46,000, which would be way lower than we are right now, and the FUD will be extreme, right? So yeah, you will see. Here we see what could be happening in ABC D correction, right? So just that to put that into perspective, we could be seeing some more capitulation, some more FUD, some more going down. But when we zoom out, we're just on track, and we will see that in a second. But first of all, I want to show you this here. This is the Bitcoin 30-day realized volatility. And we are on that realized volatility on one of the lowest points. It's nearing an all-time low, but we are very low already. So at some point, and this is only the volatility, this can be to the upside or to the downside. But at some point, there will be a violent move for Bitcoin, and we really hope it's to the upside. But with all that buying going on in the ETFs, so people are bearish in the short term, but as I said before, they forget quickly, right? After this pump, they already forgot that they had a 25% drawdown here. So people will forget quickly. And what people really don't see is, in my opinion, this halving here is just not really priced in, because at the moment there is some redistribution going on. But once all these institutions really load up on Bitcoin, and once the next leg up is coming and retail gets the message finally that something's happening, which will be probably beyond 80K, that retail really is like, oh, look at that, Bitcoin, we can get rich in a day. Let's buy some Bitcoin. And then we get new people into the space. And one way that new people are coming into the space is, it seems in every cycle except the first cycle, that memes are going crazy before Bitcoin puts in a significant new all-time high. So in the last cycle, that was Doge and then SHIB. And from most people that you talk in crypto that entered that time, most of them entered because of either Doge or SHIB. So right now we had Pepe very early on. We have Dog with Hat. We have Myro. We have, I don't know, like there are so many. There's Cork on Avalanche. There is memes on Solana. There's Brad on a base chain. So there's so many memes going on right now. So if one super popular meme coin is attracting new people into crypto, that will help in the long term, and especially in the altcoin season. Retail seems to be going hard on memes at the moment. And then they will get wrecked, and then we will look at something serious, because at some point the meme train is over, right? And yeah, that is basically that. But let's see here. So why are we going to go and see massive rallies? Because of this here, basically. The money printer needs to go on for a very simple fact. The internal burden of the US government is very high, and the interest rates are starting to skyrocket and outperforming everything else. And the problem is, with these interest rates, you can only stop this from happening by either paying them or paying back the original debt, and or, right, you need to do both, but you need to have debt from growing so fast. And there are only two ways. It's like, you either increase your output, or you print money to then pay it back, and basically take it from every citizen and everyone who is in the dollar, percentage by printing money, right? So the way that is going to happen is money printing, and the way that they are trying to increase output is to cut rates and get stimulus into the economy, so that the gross domestic product actually can grow. So what we're seeing here now is that this is the projection for the interest rates on the debt, heading to 1 trillion still in this year. And they can curb this in a way with money printing. Now, is there a long-term way out of this? Yes, probably, by artificial intelligence increasing the GDP of all countries in the world like crazy, and therefore catching up to what they've actually in debt. But even that would be really hard. But there's a way to how artificial intelligence actually could lead to a delay in the inevitable meltdown of that system. And I really want to hammer this point home with the artificial intelligence. And it's just in its infancy. It's only starting. But for example, let's take whatever regular guy in an analyst firm, or in a company, or in a sales department or so. Let's take this guy, and he has a task. He has to do a market research on companies to approach for a company X, and they want to find for these outbound teams a list of 100 companies. So what did they do until now? They went to Google and they did some extensive research, and it took them a couple of days, and they looked at the companies, and they looked at the what they were factoring, right? What the turnover is, and which companies are worth approaching. Are they in their segment? Yada yada. So there are a lot of things to consider, right? What do they do since a couple of months? They go to, hey, ChatGPT, please compile a list of 50 companies or 100 companies in that segment, and consider only the top whatever, like turnover, best performance in the last year. Consider only companies from the segment of automotive or whatever, right? So you put all of that in, and then press enter, and it took you 5 minutes, and then you have a pre-defined list of 50 or 100 companies that ChatGPT gives you, and then you just have to revise that list and do some tweaks on that list, and you save days. What happens if the entire world economy suddenly saves days of work just by stuff like that? And we're not even, so we're talking about AI that generates, for example, pieces of code, right? Which brings me to the next one here. Sorry, that one will be in a second. This one here. So you see here, software developer employment peaked before the pandemic and has been declining ever since. So the reason for that in the pandemic might not be AI, but there is definitely something to it. And if you're a software developer, I think there's nothing to fear about, but there's something to know here. For example, you can actually have AI write codes that took days for other software developers. If you're not super skilled, AI can write that code for you, and you just have to revise it. You just need way less people for the same output in that sense, right? So what I think is going to happen is that AI will save us in all areas of the world so much money and also manpower that output will be drastically increased. And I wouldn't buy too much into the story of, oh my God, the half of the world will be unemployed because of that. It's just like when people say that all the time because they cannot imagine the new jobs that come along with it, right? So where I'm getting with this is I think there will be in the next years an insane economic boost over the next years. Think about AI generated pictures. Think about time saved for every worker. Think about what, for example, in movie studios doesn't have to be done by a human being anymore in terms of CGI. Yeah, right. Fear is high, time to buy. Think about calculations, math, problem solving. Think about repetitive work. Think about the people that are still operating a machine in a factory with a joystick that can be done by artificial intelligence, and so on. So, where's crypto in all of that? Actually, crypto will play a big part in that AI world. And actually, probably this part became way bigger than I intended it to, but I think it's interesting. So maybe I have to rename this live stream after that to how in AI, how crypto will get boosted by AI. But look at this here. I really like this from Belages or so. Money after AI is crypto. Okay. So what does that mean? What is money after generative AI and robotics? This is essentially crypto. Money itself becomes cryptocurrency. Just as much intelligence becomes electricity. Okay, so here's why. First, cryptocurrency is what's provably scarce in the age of AI abundance. That isn't a bad thing. For example, you need scarce crypto assets to prove you're human when AI tools are used for faking humanity are abundant. So what is meant by that? So you can basically, if you have a future projection of AI, you can produce everything in a blink of an eye, and you can fake everything. So crypto will come in, for example, to prove that something is real. So let's say as a politician, you are taking a video and you want to really prove that you're a human being. You are using probably crypto to prove that, and there will be some kind of an identifier on that video or on that piece of content that you're putting out to where you can distinct this from AI generated stuff. So something like that is necessary. Or for example, an AI can interact with you, like a machine can interact with you and try to scam you. So you will need to have some kind of a certificate proven, immutable proven on the blockchain that that person that you're communicating with online is a real human being. So this cannot be solved by a database. And the fields of application here are unlimited. They're unlimited because there will be every part of our life there will be something where we need to prove its authenticity with blockchain. So here basically it's cryptocurrency is the only scarce thing in basically abundance of intelligence. Second, money is a bridge across economically distinct actors. You don't need to pay your hand to move, nor do you need to pay a robot you own to move. But a robot owned by another economic actor will still need money to rent. So send the coin to unlock that drone. And it's not only rental. There will be robots. They go somewhere and execute a task, and then they will have to pay with something. And that something cannot be just whatever type of money. It needs to be something that is reliable and provable that it's real. So this is a machine-to-machine payment, basically. Yeah. K Cry says 20 years from now. I don't know, because there is an accelerating factor in all of that we have to calculate in. So it was very hard from the first phones where you still had to press buttons to imagine into an age where you have a phone that reacts to your face and you don't have to even touch it anymore, right? So how long did that take? That took only, so from the button phone to the touch screen, was it 10 years? And then from the touch screen to face recognition and voice control and so on was another, what was that, 5 years? So things are moving very quickly. I don't think that we are all going to live in this dystopian world where there are robot dogs hunting us in the next 5 years, but I think it's already starting that you need to authenticate what you're doing and where you are. And I think that is where crypto plays a big role. I think there will be, we already have it, by the way, tokenized assets, right? So Chainlink is having a multi-billion-dollar business model basically from it. And there's a reason for it, because companies are companies are experimenting with this since the last bull run. Basically, in the last bull run, companies discovered that things like Chainlink can help them in their business endeavor to prove that what they're doing is actually in accordance with the laws, for example, in the EU. Yeah, that they can really build trust with the end customer by having blockchain proven use cases, by having blockchain proven supply chain data and so on. So basically scarcity at a high level doesn't go away. So money doesn't go away, but many forms of scarcity may go away. Washing machines are stationary household robots and may be replaced by walking machines that are mobile household robots. So either the machine can be replaced or there can be an additional machine. And then people say, oh yeah, robots, right? So like R2-D2 solving things and flying in a vehicle through space and time. Not quite. But for all of us that say, oh, robots are not part of our lives, I don't know about you or where you live, but if you go on a Sunday walk in Germany, you see in every third garden a small robot trimming the grass, and you hear less and less the sound of stressed out family fathers pushing a lawnmower through the yard, right, or through the garden. So we see, and also in houses, more and more you see these videos of cats driving on a robot that does the dust cleaning. I tell you what, if there's robots that solve shitty tasks at home, then then I accept that, right? And you can program these robots and say, hey, don't drive there, do this while I'm gone, and so on. They automatically go back to the recharging station. So it's really already there. Anyways, the supply chains to build the robots and the nuclear power plants to run the AI data centers will remain scarce. And those are largely in China and more generally in Asia. So money is valuable there. I would disagree with that a little bit because, yes, there are nuclear power plants in China and so on, but there are also many in France. Many countries are building nuclear power plants. There are some countries that shut everything down and turn everything off, yeah, because the wind doesn't send a bill or something like that. But there are people that understood that affordable energy is leading to economic growth. Wow, we don't even have it in America. Robots? I think you have, and automobile factory lines, they are built with like robots and so on. So yeah, the most important form of scarcity in the eye age are the private keys to control the robots. Those two will be crypto, because Web3 backends like Bitcoin and Ethereum have far higher levels of security than any Web2 system. In short, AI is digital abundance, but it doesn't make everything abundant. Crypto is digital scarcity and complements AI's abundance. So money after AI is crypto. I really like this train of thought, and when I read it, I thought I have to show it to you on stream. Anyways, let's move on to the part where you guys were already talking about. So let's see here in the chat. G Money said all about that Omi. So here's Omi so these notes here from last stream. Ivert said next. New plan says K-Cry is only like cocaine or something. Listen, the only person snorting Omi is Randy. Okay. So sorry, was just saying Omi is capitulating really low. That is true. So here's the thing. I saw. By the way, people asked me yesterday to watch the stream from Cavell with Mr. Pax and God's Entry. I did I think I watched 45 minutes of it or so, but I think I grabbed the major part of Ecomi. According to God's Entry, Ecomi is dead. According to Mr. Pax, Ecomi is over. I think they all agreed with what I'm saying here, that basically you need these things that could revive it. I really didn't capture Cavell's opinion on that. It was really difficult to get to an actual point on that live stream. Because I think there was a lot of rambling about Veve and Ecomi and so on, a lot of stuff that we already discussed since years. So what is my takeaway? My takeaway actually is that it's funny that even though Ecomi is dead and Veve is doing very bad, in their opinion, they really spent more than 45 minutes of the stream talking about it. So even though it was called an investment stream. So yeah, that is just my opinion, and I have nothing against all of them, basically nothing against them. I think God's Entry was right on his TA in many forms and ways. So I really respect his TA. Mr. Pax, I don't really know much about him, so I cannot comment. And Cavell, I've also not followed Cavell for like a year or so, but this stream interested me, so yeah, that's basically it. So there was not so much to take away in that stream, to be honest. Not much that we did not discuss here already for the past year. G Money asks, any VeChain news? Yeah, actually there are. I still have to make the video. So, but for you, when you asked, so they partnered with Tesla and another app provider to create an app where you can basically get rewards for green electricity for electric charging of vehicles and something like that. So I'm going to make a video about this one the moment that I have time. I think that is an interesting one. Okay, so Trucking Hank says, PH, you need to hit up Sanjay. He publicly bought 10% of Randy's channel last night for 10K. I don't want to sell my channel. I saw that. I saw he bought part of the channel, but how does it work? So let's say he buys 10% of my channel, right? Would that mean that he gets to take also 10% of my ad revenue? And if you guys donate, do I have to share 10% with him, some kind of dividends or something like that? I feel that over the years that would be a bad invest. I mean, right now it could be actually a good one, because if I could use $10,000 to ape into crypto, then that would be fine. But I feel like it on the long term, it would be a bad deal. I mean, how long would it take me to make 10,000? No, how long would it take me to make $100,000 from YouTube? Very long time. So maybe it's a good deal. That would be a very long time, because it's only 10%, right? So yeah, maybe that is a good deal. Maybe I should talk to Sanjay. Andy Singh says, "Hi mate, hello from Australia." Hey Andy, what's going on? Greetings to Australia. Trucking says, Cavell fell asleep during his live stream. Oh my god, really? I did. So was that more to the end? As we're talking about AI, what's your thoughts about the Devon token? Actually, no thoughts yet, but I will look into it. Thanks for the idea. G Money says, Pex thinks the Earth is flat, literally. I didn't hear him say that, so I cannot comment. But it's it's wild. Let's just put it that way. This is a wild thing to be of opinion. There is a video somewhere on the internet where they have, I think they send a flat earther to prove that the Earth is flat, and he does the laser thing, and he kind of proves to himself that it's actually not flat. That's pretty funny. Ivers87 says, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. I'm buying in this market." Yeah, absolutely. I think even more than Ecomi, the Veve app has some kind of capitulation going on. Where would you ape in with 10K? Oh, I'm probably not going to ape this into one project, but I'd probably split it up into 10 different investments, each 1K. So I would just, at this price, I probably would put 1K into Omi, just in case that it does really well after we hit something. So I would buy $1,000 worth of Omi, then I would buy 1K Chainlink, 1K The Graph, 1K Arweave, 1K what would be 1K, probably like Metacade, and then I would buy some of the trendy strong things, something like that. Maybe also 1K Bitcoin, just to be sure that I get something out of it. Yeah, but this would be more or less my allocation. I like to, whenever I have some money at hand, I like to split that up and put that into a couple of things. Now consolidating a little bit personal finances, but then if the prices stay like this, as we see it here for Omi, I'll probably get a little bit of Omi. That doesn't mean that I'm like, oh, let's buy more Omi all the time, like Randy does, for example. But it means for me just, hey, I could lower my average significantly here, right? So, and that doesn't mean that this ever comes back from the dead, but there is a good chance that it does, and that is what I would speculate on. If there was certainty, the price wouldn't be as it was. The only thing, there is one thing that is really true, which God's entry said. While every other coin has kind of a, let me recharge this here. While every other coin has kind of a signal move that the bull market is back on, Ecomi really doesn't have it and formed a new low, which is concerning, right? So this is the only thing that really is unnerving. But so Ecomi didn't. So from here, Ecomi should have put something like this, right? Breakout and be here and not there. So, and then this would be a very, very bullish chart. But that's not the case. That doesn't mean that it cannot happen, but at the moment it's just not the case. Maybe if we get Huobi and some other exchanges, then we could see more liquidity and the token gets more interesting for people. But we already discussed this in the last live stream, so if you want to have a broad Omi discussion, you should go to the last live stream here. There is There is another thing. I actually forgot to show this, but I will show this in the next live stream because we're kind of running out of time. So for Omi, there is one more thing, and that is, so Omi is on the short list now for the HTX Huobi exchange, and together with Enter the Mythos, that has 8,000 followers only. And so there's Veve. Veve has 220,000 followers. Then there is Arion Network that has 80,000. And Taboo, which is, I think that is a adult NFT project. So this traditionally could have some hidden community, I would say, that would not even follow. 30k followers. And there is Global MSQ, which I've never heard about, M Square Global, that has 56,000 followers. There is a good chance that Veve can make this just because they have the biggest following, but the problem is you need to have an HTX account to vote it, and that can make all the difference. So yeah, basically what we have here is now the decisive factor: will we get listed or not, right? And by the way, the funny thing is, actually, they listed at Veve. They didn't list a Ecomi channel. Why? Why is so? Watch and learn about these projects up for vote. I mean, they should have written that this is Ecomi, because otherwise people will be like confused cat meme and look at this and will like, which token is this, right? But in the video, obviously, it becomes clear with Foster here allowing fans to collect and the biggest IPs and whatnot. Would be cool if they had shown the IPs here, so that they see, oh, what, Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, Lamborghini, USPS, Blackpink, and whatnot. Yeah, that would be good. So, yeah. Good morning, Hodlers. Mewtwo is here. Good morning to you as well. Buying into this channel would be a smart move. I've gotten more overall crypto knowledge and macro info from you. Best channel with huge growth potential. Thank you so much. Let's hope that it is the case, because guys, I cannot tell you, if I would be only earning from this channel enough to do a living, I would be like this, like these channels like Crypto Banter, and I would be only producing content the whole day. But unfortunately, that is not the case just yet. But we're working on it. We're getting there. Thank you, Trucking Hank, for that. It means a lot to me, to know that, and keeps me motivated and going. Yeah. Last look, Veve actually didn't post anything for drops, so on. So is there something happening? Is there something coming up? They are doing the Blackpink giveaway, so they are continuing to try to attract this Blackpink community into the Veve app with prizes. So there is a thing to win. Here you can win like originally signed cards and whatnot. So there's an article how to do that. Maybe, hopefully, that will lead to some people signing up right now and maybe buying. I mean, these cards right now on the app, they are sitting at somewhere at 10 to 16 gems or so. So yeah, maybe someone creates an account and buys something of this. G Money asks, if you could travel to 3 places you've never been, where would you go? 3 places never been, where would you go? Okay, so two of them are easy because they are super high on my bucket list. Japan. So I name countries, right? As places. Japan, Iceland, and specifically Japan. I really want to dive into that culture. I want to see that culture because it's so different from ours. and I have Japanese colleagues, or in the company I met Japanese people, and it's like just I think it's just fascinating, amazing. So Japan is way up there, and I would want to spend a lot of time on that one place. So no like travel around different countries. No, Japan. And then Iceland, like from everything that I saw, it must be like you go on a spaceship and you are on a different planet, and then Iceland with like aurora borealis and volcanoes and hot water, natural hot water tubs, or how you call that. And then the third one, probably, but I'm not sure about this, because I would say on third place there would be so many places on Earth, but I would like to do something like Patagonia, Firelands, in Argentina, and then go and see, like, go by boat and see whales, like actual whales, not crypto whales, like actual whales, right? So Mewtwo, Iceland is your home country. Okay, so if one day we do this trip, like me and my girlfriend, do this trip and go to Iceland, we will definitely tell you, and then you have to give us some tour, right? So probably Mewtwo is like this 2 meter guy, a giant from Iceland, probably. Yo, Nico says I'm going to Iceland next month, so here you got it. You can connect to Mewtwo here for the tips, for the free tips. I think that is a cool question. I think everyone, G Money, thanks for the question. Everyone should take note on what are the 3 places they've never been, and they would go to if they've never been there. I have been a lot to Brazil, so I can definitely recommend that. If you've never been, that is pretty cool. And if you're a nature guy, go to Pantanal. That's like the Pantanal in Brazil. That is really cool because it's not so much forest. It's more like a marsh, lands kind of thing. And so because there are not so many trees as in other forests, you can see a lot of animals. So that would be my recommendation for everyone who hasn't been there. Yeah, awesome. Please be in touch. For sure. You can count on it. Iceland on the bucket list for sure. If this cycle goes as planned, I plan on taking some time traveling the world. That is a good idea. That is a good investment of the money, but I know how we are, right? So let's say you're just 10. Let's say the average dude on the channel is $10,000 or $20,000, like me in the cycle. So let's say we managed to get 100K out of it, and then we are going to sit there and it's like, I could just ape a fat bag of 100K into crypto in the next bear market and make it a couple of millions, right? And then we're like, okay, scratch the travel list, we're going for another cycle. And that's where I see all you degenerates here in the chat. I know exactly how it's going to be. But yeah, G-Money, hopefully that works out. And if it does, we need definitely travel pictures in the group. So for everyone who is not part of the Rare Hodlers yet, there you got it. That would be some serious utility, right? Anyways, yeah, I started it off very slow with the Italy trip, yeah. But I realized some things on my bucket list with that Italy trip. For example, Rome. I've never been to Rome before, even though I live around the corner, basically. It's still 1,000 kilometers, but Rome was amazing. So for me, that's a big check mark. Yeah, I like ancient stuff. I like stuff of history and so on. So I've been to Greece before and saw the Acropolis and Poseidon Temple and Sunion and whatnot. So all of that I saw. But I've never been to Rome before, so that was a dream. Pro legendary. My wallet today, yep. My crypto portfolio today looks exactly like that. It's absolutely wild. But it will in the same manner. It will come back in the same manner. I think this. So for the with regards to altcoins, I mean, it probably doesn't get much better than this, because if you see that here, so basically this is where the wick is, but if you draw another support line on the candle bodies, and let me refresh this so we can see it better. If you draw another support line on the candle bodies, that would be here, and that's actually where we wick down to, right? So it could be that this dip is over soon. And so if there are any funds left over, that is by the dip territory, in my opinion. So it's just across the board, all the altcoins that are down might be good time to buy. G-Money says, my wife is a flight attendant, so flights are free, so possible to do and still have powder for the bear. Damn. So guys, you see the big, you see how rare hodlers think differently, right? So it's like, okay, I want to travel the world, but I also want to invest in crypto. So you just get a flight attendant as a girlfriend, yeah, if you don't have one already. So if my girlfriend sees this, I'm not going to change her for a flight attendant. But if you don't have one, you just go on a date with a flight attendant, and then you can travel the world. You see, like, this is the 5-head, the big brain moves, right? So good job, G-Money. You're doing it right. Okay, Pro Legendary says, I kept buying the dip, but it was never the last dip. It's like there's only so much dip you can buy, right? The dip of the dip of the dip. Yeah, dipception. It's like in the bear market where it's like, oh, just buy the dip, 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 and then boom. it's like here, people then, oh, let's sell it all. Crypto's dead. That is how it happened. This is not a projection, guys. I think that it might be over here. The dip might be over here. It should be over here, because otherwise we have a problem. Because if we lose this, I mean, there's still this, and the bull market would still be on, right? So there's still this, and the bull market would still be on. But to be honest, I would like to see a bounce here, or even better, a consolidation here for a month or so, because then we can buy the dip in peace and then it goes up. But usually never lets you buy in peace. So that is also a fact. But if you're fearful now, so if you feel this disgusting fear, that's where we want to buy the dip, right? Anyways, guys, I have to jump. Unfortunately, the hamster wheel is calling, but I appreciate this. Thanks for the questions, especially here the travel talk, G-Money. I think that is really such a great thing. I love to talk about travel. By the way, last tip here. So there are families that over meal, lunch, and so on, they always fight, like, because it's politics or it's religion or it's beliefs. There is a nice simple rule to get every family dinner to a nice place, and this is like you talk about travel and you talk about food while you are eating, and like the two, they're so good topics, and you almost cannot fight about it. Like, if you stick to that, you just have such a good time. So anyways, that's it. Wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon, and I catch you hopefully tomorrow at Crypto Morning Coffee.